to be very honest. And here, nobody knows that better than you. Okay, let me give you an example. Last week I got a call from a lawyer in Delhi, and he said that I want to meet you for some PR activity. Fine. So I dropped by, and he says that I want to be page 3. So I said, okay. He said that, great, tell me about yourself. He said, I'm in law for the last 10 years. I said, there are 10,000 others. I said, do you collect art? No. Do you throw parties? No. Do you live in a fancy house? No. Have you ever played in sport? Yes. I represented India in boxing. Really? Which year? This is the 90s. Well, that is one thing we can look at. Anything else? Before I go to anything else, sir, I'd like to correct that statement. I didn't represent, I was part of the training camp. Okay. Brilliant. But what have you got that will take you to page 3? You're not a collector, you haven't done, you're not a socialite, you do not have a fancy house, you don't have fancy cars, you do not do anything apart from law. So, what makes you think that's the job of the PR agency? And that actually got me thinking that, is this what we create, that create nothing, something out of nothing? That's not the case.
That's the logic impression.
Yeah, that's the logic impression, but that is not the case. Nipu, sorry to use your brand. A Marriott cannot be created as a Marriott unless they have something in brick and mortar, unless they have the services. So unless any other startup or anybody for that matter has a story to say, and every organization has 10 different stories to say, it's for the agency to figure out, sitting across the table, that what are the stories that you get out. Look, so suppose you launch a startup, and you have got 10 partners, or 4 partners working who come from diverse backgrounds. So the conversions of 4 different minds into one product is a story by itself. So you sit and think and create the stories. But PR people cannot create stories out of thin air. That is not possible. We need something to create the stories which is relevant to the readers. When we in the media,
you get masala.
No, we don't need masala. We need the meat. We need the meat. We will add the masala to it. We need the meat.
We have a person from the media. Okay.
I want to go back.
Okay, we have a person from the media out here who will, and he gets something like, I think about 1,000 releases every day from various companies, various people talking about who they are. But really speaking, who is I take Vinay as an example. It's true for all media. Who are they really catering to? Who is their my back? Their my back is the reader, and they will do anything which will benefit the reader. Really speaking. So what then is your story? Your story is anything which you feel that a publication, when it publishes it, it is going to benefit the reader of the publication. At the end of the day, if you know a journalist very well, he might do a favor for you once, he might do a favor for you twice. The third time he will kick you in a butt and throw you out. But he'll say, boss, मेरी भी नौकरी है, मेरी भी salary है, मेरी भी एक increment है, right? And he at the end of the day, he'll be judged on what parameter, on what type of good stories, exclusive stories, etc. that he came out with, he or she, right? So therefore, what is the benchmark for doing a story? The first thing is, everybody believes in the I, me, myself principle. I, me, myself. You know what is the I, me, myself principle? Who is the most important person in your life?
You.
There are many different persons can.
Like who? Let's right at the moment, who is the most important person in your life?
It starts with me.
It starts and ends with you also. That is the harsh truth of life, whether we like it or not. Let me give you examples. You know, when you ask this question, my son, who bhai? My son, because he loves me. He loves you? Me. My father, why? He brought me up. Oh, he brought who up? You up. Me up. Why do you like a person walking on the road who believe क्या करेगा यार? So believe it or not, at the end of the day, it's very harsh thought. But at the end of the day, everything we do is for I, me, and myself. Only these. Remember that in life. Don't get caught into thinking that you're doing good for other people. You do good only if it does good for you. Why do you give money to people, to charity?
Self-satisfaction.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it is I, me, myself. So therefore, when you're talking to somebody, you're talking to a journalist. Who is the most important person for the journalist? I, me, myself. He himself. So he's going to look at you. Is this guy going to benefit me or not? And how is he going to get benefited? By promotions, by a pat on the back from his editor, by the reader saying, "Oh, very good story." Right? So therefore, when you give a story, look at the type of publication you're talking about, and give a story which is tailor-made for that publication. Or for the, if you're talking Tech Tree, go look at Tech Tree. Go look at the type of stories which appear there. See what type of slant they have. And then create a story of our own product around that. The chances, I'm saying chances, not 100%, but the chances of it getting carried really increase. If you are looking at a newspaper, pick up the Tribune for example. Look at each page. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Look at the type of story. Look at, they got a regional page, they got a politics page, they got a Punjab page, they got a business page, they got a op-ed page. Look at where you can fit in. Where you think your product can fit in. And not necessarily your own product. You can do an industry story. You can actually create an industry story and sell it to them. They'll be very happy to run it. Where, who's the hero? Obviously you.
I think you're just taking away our job. Well, that's exactly what we do.
No, but it's a fact of life. PR is a lot of planning, a lot of understanding the other person, and then creating stories which have a good chance of getting carried. Why? Because they're relevant to the other person. Your views on this, sir. Because this is actually true for anything we do in life.
I think you said it all. It needs to be, obviously, there are multiple things that need to be taken into mind. Like somebody just said, why would somebody write about it? What unique do you have about it? Either yourself or your product? What is it so different that you bring down? That's number one. Number two, if there is specific significance, you're writing up something, if you're launching out something, is that what is that the world always looks out for? Is that what is the flavor of the day? Is that what's the flavor of the season? Is that the flavor of the month? That's what somebody's going to write up for. Number three, where is it? Who is really your target audience? If that particular newspaper, if that particular paper reaches out to your target audience and sees that there is an algorithm share with them, which aligns to their target audience, they will definitely pick up and carry your story along with you as well. So you need to be able to create that buzz around. I'm going to give you example from our own industry, which is in there. We run hotels. I run hotel. In the hotel, we run restaurants. We open restaurants. There are, just like we will open the restaurant, many other places open restaurants every second day, every third day. What is it so unique or so different that people need to write about my restaurant versus somebody else's restaurant? So there are two ways that I look at it. If I'm opening a restaurant for the first time, well, I will definitely do something. I will have a story about it. There is a concept about the restaurant. There is a reason why we brought a restaurant to this place. Maybe because people love that particular type of food. There is a hook into that particular story to say, maybe I have brought in a particular chef, or there's a particular ingredient in there, etc., etc., etc. That's when I'm starting off a restaurant. So I will bring everybody, people will get carried with it, people will take that story, they will go in and write it. It's done. There is a festival which is coming in on which we are doing something special. So the minute you try to bring out something new out there, or you have an element of a newness or something different, that is when you write about it, you go back to our friends and say, okay, here is what it is, I want you to pick this up and then see if it is there. Do you find an element of newness in this? And the person says yes about it. He picks it up again and goes back and writes about it again. The third aspect of it is maybe not everybody every time is going to go in and carry about what you do. So then you go out and look at specifically who you really want to go out and target. You cannot reach out to everybody all over the place. You cannot, like they say, you cannot please everybody. Same way, you cannot be appealing to everybody at all the time. You've got to really sit down and narrow yourself down and say, okay, who do I want to reach out to? Who is my target audience? Whether it is male, whether it is female, what is the age group that I'm looking for? What background do they really need to have? What are the demographics? What is it that typically interests them? What is it that they actually read? Maybe the particular target segment that you're really looking out for does not even go on to a newspaper. If it's the younger generation, it's all on this these days, right? Maybe it's all on the Facebook these days. Maybe it's all on the Twitter these days. Maybe it's all on the TripAdvisor these days. You've got to really go in and get yourself focused and narrow it down, and then go in and approach that particular person, because then it's a highly likelihood that that particular person that you're wanting to approach, or a publication, or whatever that medium is, will also pick it up because they see an alignment with what is it that you want to put out there. So having PR or using the medium is also about a partnership. You will want to go in and attach yourself or partner with somebody who will have an interest in you, provided you have a story. You use the right word. You've got to have something in you. Nothing cannot be just created out of.
Absolutely. I just want to take something from what Deepak said. And Deepak's brand, like, or any of the industry, is one of the most focused brands you can talk about when you're talking about what is it that you want to say about. Like I was saying, that you start up a company, it's for the PR institute to find out what are the stories inside. I just make it easier. Like what we say at times is not what a lot of people. It's not very easy for us to explain in all words. So let's say we do the PR for Marriott. So I'll say that person, Deepak can say that what are your key stories? So Deepak just now said that these are the XYZ, we are launching restaurants. We might realize that after 6 months, our stories will be running out. To take it to the media and say that, hey, there's a new pet. So that's when we go to the other side of Deepak said, is that target audience, male, female, whatever. You know, hotel is one of the beautiful examples for every brand to realize how effective PR can be if they look inside their own brands. When you do hotel PR, you can look at the interiors for stories. You have got, these are the most beautiful bed that is possible, the most luxurious bed you have ever slept in. That in itself is a story. The kind of material they would use in the tapestry or the sofas, that's a story. The architecture of the place is a story. So likewise, every brand has specific stories about its product. When you look at a BlackBerry, it's not about just the phone. It's about the applications it has got, the utility it has got, the kind of service it has got, the push mail, pull mail, everything. So, in one it is one product, but you go inside the product, and then the PR agency needs to take out what is it that makes that product a sustainable story for them.
It should have USP, unique selling point.
Absolutely. And every brand has USP. Every brand has a USP. If you look at it, when you run out everything, let's say that, hey, Deepak, let's do a profiling of yours. So what is a profiling of yours? It can be like, Deepak has a hobby of collecting books. So we will figure out in a magazine or a newspaper a column which says that which are the head honchos, what are their passion in life. So that is where we'll position him. So what happens, Deepak is the GM of Marriott. So it brings the brand and the individual together. So the brand is consistently written about in the media.
So fine positioning is correct.
Fine positioning is absolutely important.
I don't know whether you can really answer the question is, how do you float a travel company, startup, in this region without having real money in the pocket?
The PM.
How do you do it?
Travel companies are the delight of everybody. See, the thing is that again we come back to the same thing. And then they consider and understand that who are your key target audience? Is it you're looking at the yuppies who would be traveling out? Are you creating a product which is like this? Are you planning to do something which is unique or not even unique, like very special? Let's say suppose a trip to by the lakes or a tour of Manali, a certain place of Manali which is not being taken by any tour operator, you are customizing some trips for those people. That is one way of looking at stories. What is it that who are you reaching out to? Are you reaching out to the honeymoon couple? Or are you reaching out to the corporate travelers? Are you reaching out to the camping guys? So if you're all in one, brilliant, then you've got a lot of stories. Once you decided what is it, then your agency should be going and figuring out for you the USPs, the unique stories which are there for your travel agency work. So like you have a Keone, or you have a Sita, or you have a Thomas Cook. Now everybody knows of them, but then there might be a travel creator called Paradiso, who will only communicate with a certain segment of the society because they would create holidays for you, keeping in mind your passion, your taste. So they would say that we don't do Indian holidays. We would you want to go and say that I want to do a holiday in Italy with my wife, and I would just want to travel by Ferrari. Now, Paradise is a company who would actually tailor-make it for you and say that why don't you take the Ferrari made tour? It will be landing in, say, Rome, and you will be traveling throughout Italy in a red Ferrari. So, the moment you come out with customized and planned holidays or travel spots, your PR becomes far more easier. And then how you take it forward is that if it is not deep money to do here, seriously. We do not make that much of money like the advertising people. We do not make much money. We seriously do not make much money. We get some money.
Don't
But there are certain things which you can do, especially for the print media. If you can think of some real exotic, and I say exotic, it has to be very different from what conventional destinations are. You can interest a lifestyle section of a publication to do a regular feature on exotic places. You can look at a middle in the Tribune on experiences with various customers. You can make it very interesting, a middle, right? You can do a regular release on the tourist arrivals in Chandigarh, and we take an example of Chandigarh and give it to all the publications, and hopefully some will carry them on a regular basis. You can talk about latest trends in tourism, what is happening, a little bit of work. You don't have money, you got to do work here. So if you do these type of things, you will find that some stories will go in. Not all, but some stories. But you have to take that little extra effort if you don't have money. Otherwise you have me, I do it for you. Okay. There's another question which moves slightly away from what are we been talking about, more on internal PR, which is as important. Because if your people are enthused about the company, that in itself is very good PR for the company itself. And I think you are the best judge to answer this question. The question is how to convey value of the company to employees, customers, competitors, clients, and vendors. And I think Marriott must be doing a lot of.
I think for any organization which is already, I would presume this question comes in from somebody who already has a business set up. When you say when your business is set up, your business is actually set up based on certain ethics. Your business is set up based on certain principles, certain values that you've actually created, based on which you've been able to get customers, based on which you're actually able to drive sales, based on which you're able to attract employees to work with you, based on which you have a market value, a perceived market value for which people know you, or you have a particular brand that people sort of know you. Now, what those ethics are is something that you need to literally, you either need to list those down and write those down, that what is it that is really being the most successful story? Why is it that my customers are buying me? What is it so different in me than my customers buy? Why is it that I'm able to attract a particular set of people, or my employees or workers, that they're working with me? I've got to be doing something right. That's the reason why people are working with me. I've got to be doing something right with my product. That's the reason why people are buying my product. I've got to be doing something well that I'm actually able to sell something better. Or the perception that people carry about my particular brand or my particular product or something. Once you have each of those, that actually defines you, tells you what your story is. To get people motivated, to deliver the right message at every single point and at every single forum, you've got to make sure you are delivering the same message consistently. Be it to your customers, be it to your employees, be it to your partners, be it to whoever that you actually talk along with. In PR, and you two are the experts in there, it is the consistency of the message that actually drives home the point to say how consistent are you in driving home the point. And that needs to come in from what you as a leader are saying, what your people are saying, and when you believe in what you're saying, your people will believe in what you're saying. When your people or your employees start believing what you're saying, and you continue to talk about it, even to your customers, the customers will start believing you. Right. Okay? So different ways and means to do that or communicate about it. In your organization, go in and put your core values up in your organization that are there. Talk about it. When you do your employee forums, continue to talk about those particular values that you actually believe in. Do the right things. I mean, say there's a very old cliche statement to say, walk the talk.